flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone. She shall be called woman. It was all woman when you saw any real people in this room.
Soften up the mess, drop it in the water, let the daughter find her image with the rest. She'll be learning how to breathe, spinning through identity, revealing. Hi, I'm Evangelist Lisa and welcome back to my channel, Life Changes. So, got to talk to you guys about something that happened. Okay, anybody who lives in Aurora, Denver, North Glen, Thornton, Westminster, you know, all the way down to Denver going west, and all the way up to East Aurora and South Aurora, there was a humongous power outage. All the power went out everywhere, which was shocking because sometimes when the power goes out, it's a controlled power outage because of fires or something like that. But I don't know why the power went out. We had just left church and then we went to the Applebee's and we went to go get something to eat and the power was out. We were there. We got our food and we began to eat our food and we weren't there maybe long, maybe about 35 minutes. And we were talking and all of a sudden the power was like, bloop. And at first I didn't notice it when it had went off until I thought the lights, I looked up at the lights. I noticed that the lights had flickered like or something. And then I look over and it's just out. The power was out. So I looked over in, part of the middle of the restaurant and I was like, dang, the lights is out. So then everybody was talking. It was loud in there. You know how it is in the restaurant. People are laughing and talking and everything. And then it got quiet. And everybody started looking around. I was like, what in the world? So first thing came to my mouth was like, should we run? And some people in the table next to us, they started laughing, because they, heard what I had said. But I was like, what in the world is this? So it just kind of threw me off. So I started looking around and I was looking at all the places. And so I started to notice through my peripheral vision, the cars on the corner of Black Hawk and Island. And I looked over and I was like, you know what? The power is off in the streets. Me and Tammy were looking at the power being off on the street lights. The red, the street lights. And we were like, what in the world? So we just kind of stood there for a minute because we figured, it probably either pop back on or, it would change. But the funny thing is, their little things are ran on Wi-Fi. And she was like, well, go ahead and you can slide your card, pay your bill. That worked. She was like, we do got some Wi-Fi, but part of the Wi-Fi is, not working. So maybe, she said, if it doesn't work and you swipe your card, then you know what? She said, I'll have a good evening. And she was like, but if it works, it'll go on ahead, it'll take your payment. So it took the payment. I was told Tammy, I was like, hopefully, here's the hoping that it don't. And I'm swiping my card. Here's the hoping that it don't. But it took our card, but that's all to say. So I began to record people's responses, and what happened. So I'm going to let you watch the video. It's a little short video that I started recording. Now, this is after the power had went off. And everybody kind of was like, looking, what the heck? What the heck? So we're going to go on ahead and we're going to let you guys check the video out. With all that being said, let's get started.
Huh? No. If we get to Walmart, they don't have power there either. There's no something more. Oh my God. All right, baby. Can you put her in? Try to see if you can get a hold of Brooke or Efron.
That's crazy.
And tell them that we're stranded.
The lights is out everywhere.
I live in Black Hawk.
That's crazy. All this power is off everywhere.
Applebee's is on Black Hawk and eyelid.
Well, here we go. I don't know what's up with this, but first thing came to my mind is
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
that fire truck first, and then the other fire truck left. That makes me wonder if something happened somewhere out that we don't hear. Everybody's phones going off. You hear them? Everybody's phones are going off. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is crazy.
No.
All I hear is everybody's phones at the same time. Honey, this is crazy, because you know what's going to end up happening is the same thing is going to happen when the Lord do come back, you know. And I seen on the movie Left Behind, and they're all in the airport, and everybody's trying to get in touch with their loved ones, and they're not getting no signals. They're not getting through. All the power is out. That's what that reminded me of. And I was just playing like, oh, Jesus was here, but what if he really was? You know what I'm saying? Not saying the Lord, hope you didn't leave us, you know, but, you know, that's what it makes me think of, you know. So I'm like, wow.
Kind of difficult to work with.
Look at that. Trying to get off Parker. These people are trying to get off that highway and come up another street. Oh, we just passed it, but it's okay. You can go up to that light.
Shoot, I'm sorry. I was looking down the street.
Me too. I'm recording all the cars. You can make a right here. We'll just go to the back alley. All them cars coming from off of the highway. Oh, Lord, what is really going on? This just, you know, I mean, it's not like a scary make a right there. It's not like it's scary. And then we got the ducks. Pastor, we got the ducks. You know what I do? I get them out of my way.
I told Pastor earlier, I'm about to take out this goose.
Look, see how fast he moves? See how fast he moves? You came around that corner? That's how you got to do. Push them. They'll go. They'll get on out the way. And tell Pastor we got the ducks. Move, duck. Get out the geese. What is a geese? It's a geese. Move, geese. Get out the way. I was like, man. Now that you have all watched the video, did anybody else's power go? I know everybody's power went out. But was that odd for it to go out in so many cities at the same time? Wasn't that odd? Yet, what was odd to me was not the power went off, because you know what, hey, it goes off all the time, you know what I'm saying? And so that part did not strike me funny. What did strike me funny is power went out, power was out on the street lights, everything else, but I couldn't figure out what was going on. But then what I didn't notice, because I didn't necessarily grab my phone when it first happened. My first instinct was like, let me look around for anybody jumping around here with ski masks, or, you know, I was laughing, you know, I was making jokes, you know, why, you know, because that's just me, you know, and I was making jokes. I would make sure ain't nobody coming around here with no ski mask. You know, I was like, because I so seen the door, it's right there. And so, you know, the people who was next to us, they kind of laughed about it, you know. But the funny thing is, the phones, I didn't think to even grab my phone, but the phones all went out. The people in the restaurants, they were all looking about their phones, trying to see what's going on with their phones. And the people had walked out and they came back in, and they were like, they were sitting across from us. And when they came in, they were saying, is your phones off? They was asking each other, you know, and then people around were starting to look around. And so I looked to them, and I was like, I was on the phone when they walked in. So I was like, my phone is working, you know, and then, all of a sudden they were talking and they were trying to get in touch with some people, and I don't know what was going on. There was three of them, was, two ladies and a gentleman. They were there, and, hi you guys. I just want to say, if you look at my podcast, remember, don't forget to leave a comment so I know it's you, so I can say, hey. But, they were saying their phones weren't working, so I was still on my phone. So I was like, talking to, my twin. I was like, hey, twin, and he was like, is your power out there? And I was like, the power's out in the restaurant where we're at, and it's out at my house. I called my husband, and he said the power was out there too. So, so that's what caught me off, and that's what made me go, this is weird. Like Arsenio Hall says, things that make you say, because power was off, but the phones, they went off. But then while I'm sitting there and I'm recording, and I'm just, I was zooming, kind of listening in at everybody's conversations. And then all of a sudden I could hear the phones ringing. Ring, ring, ring. And I was like, and now all the phones come back on all at once. So I know it didn't have anything to do with the building at Applebee's. It had to do with whatever shut that power off, whether it was some grid or whatever. So I don't know anything about the power and all that. But are the towers, the cell towers, running on the electricity too? Somebody comment in there and let me know, because I don't have a clue whether the powers ran from the electricity. But anyways, I just wonder what everybody was thinking and what everybody thought about that. And then the phones. And did your phone start acting up and not come on and not work? Put your comment in. I want to know. Please put your comment in. Because that to me is so odd. And I started Googling on my phone. I was like, is the power outage, how far is the power outage reaching? And, and I was wondering, but most people were only finding out that the outreach of the power outage was because of they were calling family members, or family members were calling them. Just thought it was weird. It made me feel like they were being hacked, like we were all being hacked, and it also made me think of this. You guys ever seen the movie Left Behind with Kirk Cameron and a bunch of different actors? I love the movie. It's one of my favorites, and they have quite a few, part 1, 2, 3, and stuff like that, and different versions with I can't think of his name. I love him, and he's always playing Christian movies. I wish I could think of that man's name. When I get ready to think about it, and I'll put it up there so you'll see his name. And it made me think of that. Not so much that people disappeared part, but the power in the movie, it was shut off. There was no power. There was no electricity. There was no phones were working. Landlines were the only thing that seemed to be working. But cell towers were not working. And so I am going to put a video on here. Check this video out. This is not Left Behind, but it is similar to Left Behind. And the other one is, the other video I'm going to put on there is about a minute long. Hopefully I don't get a copyright, I hope. But it's about a minute long too. And it talks about, one is about the rapture, and then the other one is about the power and stuff that's going to be turned off during that time, I guess. So let me know what you think. And let me know if this kind of weirded you out like it weirded me out too. Because I just, it wasn't that I was worried that we got left behind. I looked at my friend Tammy and I was like, I know we didn't get left behind. But, you never, I'm not saying that I'm that perfect person. But, I pray that God takes me with the rapture. I pray that he take me with the rapture. I ain't left here. But it just weirded me out that that kind of thing happened with all the phones being shut off and then all the power shut off too. That sounds almost like, people hack. Think about that. It's because the phones, how the phones all went. Boop. That was weird. So I hope that you guys are all going to be ready. I'm going to read this to you if you don't mind. We need to be being ready for Jesus Christ's return. That means we have to be living a life of faithfulness, a life of obedience, and a life of alertness. Because you see how that happened so fast? Nobody thought rapture or anything. You know what I'm saying? But what if it was the rapture? What would you have done in that moment when all the power went out, the phones went out? What would you have done? People would have panicked. As I was reading, actively serving God and being spiritually prepared for his unexpected arrival, focusing on his kingdom's work rather than worldly distractions. Let me get it out my mouth. Worldly distractions, trusting in his goodness and enduring hardship with hope. I would say the key to all of that is to stay close to God, no matter what. Because sometimes we are farther away from him than we even think. And we don't realize it until something happens, how far we are away from the Lord. Or until he reveals it to us, how far we are. Because, see, God will allow us to have choice. And that choice is ours and ours alone. Whether we want to serve him, whether we want to go to church, whether we want to get a closer relationship with him, that is totally up to us. See, God wants to be there. He never leaves us. He never forsakes us. He never not hears us. But if we got so much of the worldly distractions in our ears, which is our jobs, family, friends, the parties, the drinking, the smoking, the getting high or whatever it is, we got all that in our eyes. Of course we can't hear God through all of that, because there's a fog, a great big thick smog of hold me away from the Lord in front of your face. So you're not going to be able to hear his voice or understand what he wants you to do. Right? So we got to make decisions, the right decisions. We have to stay expecting his coming. We have to be awake. We have to be ready. You know, because we're waiting for our master's return. We don't know when God is coming. We don't know when the hour is, the minute, the day. We don't know when he's coming. So be ready. You just got to be ready. Are we perfect? No. Are we trying to be perfect? Yes. And I know God wants us to just give our best to him. I mean, spiritually, give him our best. Do what he needs us to do. Be the example he needs us to be. Right? Be strong in your faith. Withstand trials, because all of us are going to go through some trials. When they do come, you'll know how to fight them. You'll know how to go through the trials. I don't mean fight the trials, but I'm just saying how to go through the trials, how to go through the fire, how to make it through, how to trust God through it all. Because sometimes things get so hard, you don't even know where your next meal's coming from, where your rent money's coming from, where your ride or transportation's coming from. Just know you're not the only one that goes through. We all go through. Find somebody that you can talk to in the church who understands what you're going through. Because a lot of times you can get worldly advice and it's not very good for you. You know, it might sound like it's a good idea, but it doesn't work out for you because you're a child of God. Right? Place your faith in God. Place your faith in Jesus. You know, so with all these things happening and all that power going off and knowing that the Lord is coming soon, we just have to know that we need to start noticing all these natural disasters that are happening around us, because there's earthquakes and famines and pestilence, diseases, there's lawlessness, there is conflict and violence, and it's increasing daily, every day, you know, and kingdoms against kingdoms, and everybody's worried about war and all that. So keep your eyes to God. Don't worry about all that stuff, because it's coming anyway. Whether you worry about it or not, it's coming. End times are coming. I personally believe sooner than later because of all the things that are happening in this world. So I'm going to play the video for you. You guys enjoy that video. I love you guys. And don't forget to comment, especially my new friends we met at Applebee's. Y'all have a great day.
No electricity, no power, nothing. The internet disappears. No more TikTok, no more YouTube. Your phone's just a brick, your laptop dead. No AC, no heat. People would freeze or bake. Cities would be trapped. No elevators, no streetlights. Cars stop moving. No fuel, no charging stations. Without electricity, hospitals can't save lives. Water's gone. Pumps need power to run. Cash machines? Useless. No way to pay for anything. We'd have to fight for food. Streets filled with chaos. We'd all return to the basics. Fire, water, survival. What if the lights just went out forever?